everybody, welcome back to another Sonoket special edition. Today, got something real good for you. Top 10 indie games that you should be spending your money on in December. Now this list is going to be pretty short. It's 10 games, 10 indie games that basically have very little reviews. People don't really know about them. I'm just going to talk you through each of them pretty quickly, why you should be buying them. These are games that I personally have played and enjoy. So as long as you know that, we can move forward. This is just going to be quick, to the point, and I should probably get to it because I've already been recording for 2.5 minutes. That's ridiculous. That's too long. So let's get started with our first game. This is an indie retro Metroidvania kind of a game. It's going to be all pixely, so, you know, if you're into those retro graphics, this is for you. But basically, it's a huge game. They advertise there's like more than 600 rooms to explore. There's about 1 million secrets. The map tracks just like a Metroidvania game. If you don't know what that is, I really can't help you. And again, because of that scaling, upgrading, Metroidvania kind of game, you're going to be doing a lot of backtracking, forward tracking, side tracking, all that kind of different tracking to track down everything in the game. It's really neat, and it's on sale right now for about 10 bucks. Okay, our next one up is called Demon Pit. If you ever played a game like Doom or Quake from the way back in the like 90s era, this is basically a wave kind of a game. This is going to spawn a bunch of enemies in a lava pit kind of an area, and you're going to go through wave after wave after wave. You pick your weapons up on the spot, and you take everything out, and then it's going to clear that and then move on to the next wave. And the cool thing is obviously it gets progressively more difficult. Game's super challenging. You have an interesting hook mechanic where you're going to be shooting all across the arena to get around faster. So on one area you might have a nice flat plane with 10 skeletons, and on the next one it may just drop out a ton of squares, and now you have to dance around like open pits of lava with all these other enemies and stuff. And so it's really interesting how they scale. It's a really fun game, and a good look back to like retro style 90s games. It's just fun to play, and it's cheap. You can pick it up right now for about $6. Okay, the next one is I would say it's the only one on this list that's a little bit of a mixed bag. So it's called Moons of Madness. Came out at the end of October. Basically, the idea is you land on Mars, and you're a repair technician, and you kind of have to go out and do all these different tasks as your space station on Mars kind of descends into chaos. Stuff goes wrong. You realize that people are really not who they say they were. People are doing experiments that they definitely should not have been doing, and it kind of spirals all the way down. And there's a lot of great moments of atmosphere and tension, and you just not wanting to do anything. It's tense, and they do that atmosphere building so well that it's a great time. However, the ending is straight trash. It is straight garbage, and I apologize for it, but the rest of the game is so worthwhile to play. I really couldn't make a list and not recommend this game. They capture so well the idea of you being just alone on Mars when shit starts to go wrong, and it's really very cool. And so yeah, about 20 bucks. Okay, next on our list we have a game called Fictorum. You've probably seen it advertised around Reddit a couple times. The big thing about this one is it's all focused around magic and destructible environments, and the way you do it is through these spells that you can modify. So maybe you start with a fireball, but you can modify it to where you cast 3 fireballs at a time, or suddenly your fireball just rains down from the sky and it's like a meteor instead. And so you can on the fly modify your spells to have like bigger explosions or more projectiles or whatever, or just completely different spells entirely. You get gear and equipment and upgrades and things like that. But anyway, it's just a lot of fun to play, and it's only $4 right now on sale. And I'm certain that it'll be on sale again at the end of December, but it's definitely just a lot of fun to blow shit up and modify your spells to do exactly what you want to do. And I did a video on it earlier, and it was just fun. It's just fun to blow shit up. Like, that's really the name of the game. Blow crap up, have a great time. Okay, next we have Ritual Crown of Horns. Your character is an Old West kind of gunslinger. You have different powers and abilities, though, because kind of you died, you went to hell, made a deal with the devil a little bit, and then came back, and now you're on a quest for revenge. I know you've never heard that storyline before, but basically you're going to have to protect something in each of the maps, and you have to survive like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, as these enemies kind of crash against the place you're trying to defend, and you have to just survive and make sure that the thing you're protecting doesn't get blown up. You fire your 6 shots, you switch to the shotgun, that has 2 shells in it, boom, boom, you fire those, and then you switch to your third weapon, maybe it's a crossbow. The nice thing is that your 6-shooter, your original gun, was reloading while you switched, so it forces you to kind of weave all your guns together, and you're never really waiting. You have to use all your guns intelligently, switching from one to the next to the next. You gotta keep moving, so you gotta weave all your guns together in a way that makes sense, and it's just a ton of fun to play. You can pick it up for 20 bucks right now on Steam. Okay, so next we have a really cool puzzle game that's actually on the Epic store called Superliminal. It focuses around this idea where you pick things up and you're kind of interacting them with your hands, but if you move them away from you and then drop them, they become larger. And it's gonna sound weird with me just trying to explain it to you, but hopefully the video does a really good job of showing you what that means. And so you basically, you change object size by moving their orientation to your camera, to your view. And it's a really weird idea, but the whole game focuses around like perception and how you see different things. It's basically like Alice in Wonderland, the puzzle game. It's just so bizarre and amazing. And so I definitely recommend you pick that up. It's currently 20 bucks on only the Epic Store. It's not on Steam. Okay, next we have another pixel game. It's a pixel roguelite game called Sparklite. And the idea is you're on this kind of floating airbase, air station kind of deal, and you go down to the surface and you explore the changing terrain, because it's going to change each time you go down. It's roguelite. And you're going to do all these dungeons, you're going to farm currency, and then you come back to the airship and you upgrade things. You can change the configuration of your weapon, right? And you can upgrade that weapon with different patches. But the other cool thing about this game is that after the first boss, you can actually play it co-op. You have a little robot buddy and a friend can kind of hop in and do the game with you. It's really clear that a ton of love went into this game when you see the animations, when you see the different areas of the game, when you see, all these little things the developer added. And just, the closest thing I can compare this to, honestly, is like a Secret of Mana. It's really, really cool, and you can pick it up on Steam for about 25 bucks. It is a little bit more expensive, but definitely, in my opinion, is super worth it. All right, next on the list is a really neat little puzzle game. It kind of markets itself as like a casual, relaxing puzzle game. And the idea is you need to power these different towers through putting grids that either go left, right, or maybe they branch into a triple thing, or maybe they hit an entire line or an entire row, and you just have to put down the power and change the environment so everything on the stage gets powered. They say it's just kind of like a chill vibes puzzle game. There's not much to it, it's very minimal, and so that makes it stand out among, all the puzzle games you could possibly play. But definitely check that one out, $3 on Steam. Okay, so the next two games are a little bit unique, and I'll explain each one as we go, but the first one is going to be Legend of Keepers, the Career of a Dungeon Master. So if you ever played Dungeon Keeper way back in the late 90s, this is similar to that, except it's not like 3D, you build it in an entire area. Basically, you choose a dungeon boss, a dungeon lord that you're going to play as, and you have a couple different rooms, usually like 4 or 5 different rooms, and you have to set up the traps, you have to set up what monsters are going to be in it, maybe you have a room that does a fancy spell cast, and then heroes or adventurers will come through your dungeon, and your job is to kill them. You have to murder them as the commander of this dungeon. And you're going to be able to upgrade your traps, you're going to be able to change your spells, your minions will have levels so you can like train them and level them up. It is so much fun to just ruin a team of adventurers that are coming through your dungeon, and it's just so much fun when your traps come together, and you maybe, like the first room you had a trap that lowers all their nature damage, and then the next room you just have 3 enemies that are doing nature damage or poison damage, something like that. And when you do these synergies, it just feels so good, and it's so much fun to just win and beat the shit out of the adventurers that have, it's just a night. I'm probably should be a therapist. Anyway, think it is actually coming out before the end of the year, but you should definitely wishlist this if you want to see more gameplay on this. I did a full video on it earlier in November, and it's just a ton of fun to play, so definitely check it out. Legend of Keepers, Career of a Dungeon Master. It's a very long title, but it's good. It's good. Anyway, next. Our last game is called GTFO, and the reason that this one is kind of unique is because it's not out yet. It's another one of those that's not out, but this is actually in alpha right now. You can sign up, and I believe they're even doing a closed alpha that you might be able to get into this weekend even. You have 4 players, you each suit up, you choose a gun, a secondary gun, and then a power, and you have to fight through the different monsters that are there, and you have to complete an objective. It's usually like find something that's buried in the archives, something like that, and you have to survive. The problem is they released some statistics, I think it was on Twitter, that said out of like, the 300,000 attempts that were done in the game, 1% of people actually beat it. So it was like 3,000 tries that were actually successes out of 300,000 attempts. The game is hard because you have limited ammo, you have limited resources. If you're firing your gun off all willy-nilly, you will be out of ammo for the rest of the game. It's that scarce. It is hard to track down more ammo, more health, more resources. It's brutal. And if you don't work together really well, you will just fail. Definitely worth checking out. It's just a lot of fun to play, especially when everything works. When you set up a room and there are enemies in it, you're going to pull them towards you. You have your gadgets set up, you have your weapons ready, everyone's in position, and you clear it and no one dies and you don't waste any ammo. It just feels great when that all comes together and works. So that was GTFO. Definitely check it out on Steam. You can wishlist it. It'll be in early access supposedly this year in December. So that's it. Those are 10. Hopefully this is pretty rapid fire, but those are 10 indie games that I think are really worth your time to check out or wishlist in the case of the last two. But there's an autumn sale that runs till, I believe, tomorrow right now. Hopefully this video goes up tonight. And then there'll be another sale for Steam coming in the end of December, the Christmas sale. So a lot of these games are right now on sale, and a lot of them will be on sale again at the end of December. And these, again, I just want to make sure you understand, these games that I have played personally and can recommend them personally as saying these are a lot of fun, not just 10 that I found in the last 2 months. These are ones that I personally have played. And there's obviously like a million more games that came out, right? And we're not talking about those because I don't have any personal experience in those. But these, you can count on these 10 being very, very good. If you want to see more on any of those, there will be videos. Hopefully I linked them maybe in the description below, so you can watch the full playthroughs, usually about 15 or so minutes of raw gameplay and some closing thoughts and stuff. And those will be down below. And if you enjoyed, let me know. If you end up picking up these games, let me know in the comments. That's super helpful because that tells me that I should be doing more of these videos. I know not everyone has all that time to watch every single video that I make because I make like a million videos. Understandable. So that's it. And as always, let me know what you think in the comments of the video entirely. Hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. Join the Discord. Get involved. I have a Patreon as well. If you want this kind of content, you want to support me doing that, it's really up to you. But anyway, there you go. This is 10 games. Easy. Done. Until next time, burn bright, everybody.